Hi, I'm Holly Hall, the Curriculum Support Specialist for the Science Penguin. In this mini PD video, we'll talk about how to utilize ThinkSheets in the science classroom. When standardized test day rolls around, there's nothing worse than watching a student zoom through the test without writing a single word on their scratch paper. Now that most of these tests are digital, it's easier than ever to click, click, click without lifting a pencil. How can you prepare students to slow down, think about the question, and effectively jot down something that may jog a memory or solidify their confidence in an answer choice? ThinkSheets can come to your rescue. So what is a ThinkSheet? Well, it's really just a sheet of paper that's been folded into eighths. You can use this sheet of paper with any type of question-related routine in your classroom. Activities like spiral reviews, various assessments, boom cards, test prep task cards are perfect for using with a ThinkSheet. As students get to each question, they use a space on the paper to jot down things like mnemonics, simple diagrams, vocabulary words or definitions, answer elimination notes, and anything else that might help them with the question. In class, you can start at the beginning of the year by explaining your thought process as you make a ThinkSheet on the document camera alongside a question. Spiral Review is the perfect resource for modeling this daily at the beginning of the year. As you go over each Spiral Review question, model what your teacher thinks it would look like and have students follow along on theirs. Gradually, you can let them try it on their own and even come share their examples on the document camera. You can make it a routine for students to use a ThinkSheet when they're completing any question-based activity, like test prep task cards and boom cards too. All it takes is getting into the habit of taking out a sheet of notebook paper, folding it into eighths, and using it as a note space whenever they use those question-based activities. Whether they are working with a printed resource or a digital resource, the ThinkSheet is the place where they show what they know. When it's time to go over each question, that's a perfect opportunity to discuss what could go on a ThinkSheet and to model or showcase volunteer examples. This strategy also works with assessments in the classroom. As a teacher, you can get a lot of insight by taking a look at a student's ThinkSheet after an assessment. You can use that information to clear up any misconceptions and see exactly where a student may have gotten confused. If students can get into the habit throughout the year of using a ThinkSheet during classroom testing, they'll know exactly what to do when the state test arrives later in the year. Let's take an in-depth look at an example to go over some do's and don'ts when creating a ThinkSheet. Here we have a question from week 15 of the 5th grade TEAK Spiral Review. The question asks us to find 2 examples of animals interacting with abiotic components in their ecosystems. So what's important here? First, students need to know what abiotic is, so a quick reminder of vocabulary is helpful. Notice that we wrote abiotic equals non-living instead of a whole sentence. Keep it short and sweet. For this question, it would be helpful to identify each interaction as well. Quick notes about each image can help to eliminate answers, with a check or X to show if they represent what the question is asking. Then, the student can easily see the 2 answers that are needed. It's important to only jot down what's helpful. In this case, it was a vocabulary reminder and some answer elimination. Other questions might call for a diagram or a mnemonic device. And of course, students might approach questions differently, and that's okay too. Early implementation, teacher modeling, and consistency are the keys to using ThinkSheets effectively. If you begin implementing ThinkSheets at the beginning of the year, showing students your thinking as you model them, and using them with any routine question-based activities or assessments, students won't have to wonder what to do with their scratch paper when standardized testing day arrives in the spring. We hope that these tips have helped you learn how to effectively use ThinkSheets in your science classroom. Thanks for watching.